Hey, Eagles fans, if you're a subscriber to the JAKIB Media YouTube channel, you are already registered to win a pair of season tickets for the upcoming season. That's right, you could win a pair of season tickets for the upcoming 2021 season just for being a subscriber. If you're watching and you're not a subscriber, do it now. Subscribe to the JAKIB Media YouTube channel right now. What do you need to do? Subscribe right now.
Of a Tuesday edition. Finally, we are in football week. As this will be the second official football Friday, but it'll be the first official football Friday this week of the NFL. And we're going to talk a lot of NFL and a lot of Eagles with our next guest, and he is the great Rob Maaddi at Rob Maaddi on Twitter, of course, with the Associated Press. He writes books. He does TV. He does it all. And we have a question already on the stream, Rob, that they want to know how you get your hair like that. They love your hair, so they want to know what product you're putting in the hair.
This is bedhead, man.
Okay.
This is, I just woke up and this is what it looked like today as we were rushing girls to the school, went to the gym. But I use a product called Got2B. You get it at Walmart. It's a molding paste.
Got2B.
Yeah, that's the brand. Yeah, shout out to them if they want to.
You should get an endorsement.
Yeah, if they want to sponsor, you guys and one of my shows. Let's make it happen because I give them a lot of money, man.
Right.
Got2B. I love it, man. I might have to check some of that out. All right, Rob, let's first, before we get into the hardcore stuff, we were just talking about this T.O. McNabb thing, and I'm sure you're up on what's going on. T.O. was on a podcast with Shannon Sharp and said he wants to knock the chunky soup out of Donovan McNabb in a celebrity boxing match.
And this guy's it was funny 15 years ago, 10 years ago, but man, T.O. can't let it go.
No.
And I like T.O. and I had some fun with him, seeing him at Super Bowls and we talk and all that, but he cannot let this go. It's gotten to the point where it's beyond funny and hilarious and a little petty, don't you think? Like,
there's no question about that. Yep.
Right. And Donovan tries to be the bigger man, but Donovan, deep down inside, like he's bothered by it. He wants to say something. I understood where T.O. was coming from the whole time. I thought T.O. got a raw deal here in Philly. And
right.
He could have been such a legend in this town. He is for a year and a half, right?
Yeah.
But he could have finished his career out here. I bet he could still catch passes in the NFL, man.
No doubt. Yeah, no doubt. Last I saw Donovan, he was the bigger man, about 100 pounds bigger.
You had to go there.
I had to do it. I would, say what you want about this. I would pay. Barrett and I are also on record. We pay $99.99 to watch this fight.
No question about that. I definitely would.
Oh, I don't think it would be much of a fight, though. I mean, as you just mentioned, Donovan hasn't kept himself in the gym, and T.O.'s in phenomenal shape. I would be like, this would be like less than a minute, and T.O. would knock. He's right; he would knock the chunky soup out of him.
Well, I think he needs a little more money than Donovan. I think Donovan, kept his money a little more than what he did. So
I have the feeling T.O. spends a lot of money.
I did kind of, it wouldn't shock me.
No.
Right.
All right, now I saw you got to put out a tweet with Nick Sirianni with about 2 minutes of audio that you had asked him a question in his media availability, and he gave you a very truthful answer. Can you expound for the people?
Yeah, Harry. I asked him yesterday about what this game is going to mean to him, his journey to the NFL. This is his first regular season game as a head coach. It's a coaching family. And, I gave him I know you're focused on the Falcons and game planning. And there's a lot of coaches, guys, that would have went down that road. Well, it's not about me. It's about the team and focused on this and that. And he said, yeah, I would say that. And then he just was really truthful, really sincere, really genuine, and talked about how much it does mean to not really him. It does mean a lot to him, of course, but his family, his dad being a coach, his brothers being coaches. And he told a great story. Like on Saturday, he's in the middle of getting ready for Falcons week, and he's listening to his brother coach a Division III college football team. Like, I don't know what kind of radio reception. Like, how do you even listen to Washington and Jefferson College while you're in Philadelphia? Like, I don't know what you need to be able to hear that, but he's got his way. He's listening to his brother's game, calling his dad, who's apparently at the game, talking through plays. I mean, this is coaching runs through the genes in the Sirianni family, and it does mean a lot to them. And I thought it was really refreshing, guys, that he would just give an honest, truthful answer. And that's what I've noticed out of Nick throughout since day one. Say what you will about him rambling, say what you will about him saying too much. He's very genuine, and when he talks family, his eyes light up.
Yeah, didn't Washington and Jefferson beat John Carroll in that game?
They sure did.
You know who went to John Carroll?
No.
London Fletcher.
Is that right?
What? Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. He's got to be the most accomplished former alum.
No question.
No question about that.
I think I want to say did Don Shula go there too?
Man.
Let me check.
Knowledge out of you.
Harry. Let me check.
Yeah, you got to hit.
Now he's just showing off, right, Rob?
Go ahead, Barrett.
He's hitting that Google over there. But yeah, that's who Nick is, guys. He's that kind of, and I heard a couple people like on the Twitter on responding and saying, I hope he never changes. I hope that's the kind of guy he is. And I think at some point he will. He's going to have to lie to us at some point.
Yes. Yeah. Howie does all the lying for him.
Right.
That's his job. Yes.
No doubt. You raise your hand. You were right. Don Shula
went to John Carroll.
The late great Don Shula.
I don't know how I remember this meaningless stuff.
Bro, I don't understand.
I went to high school with a John Carroll.
You did?
Yeah. That's the only John Carroll I know.
Oh, man.
Well, you know what? I mean, you talking about sincerity, we thought, just because he's coming here and talking about all this, competitive nature and, always, attacking this and attacking that, attacking sleep, whatever. This is just who he is, and it really solidified me when Gardner Minshew said that he, during the recruiting process, he went to Indianapolis and played him in horse. Yeah. And it got so competitive, we're taking shirts off and everything else. That just goes to show this is generally who he is. So if he'd be anything different, it would be a lie. So as he goes forward, I can't see him being anything but who he is as he goes forward. So I see him as a guy that, all right, then at the very least, he's going to take it and wear his game on his sleeve and make sure that you're going to get the very best out of him. And that's all I can ask from a coach, man. That's all I can ask.
Yeah, and I think we appreciate that, right? We appreciate that certainly in the media because we want guys to give us like answers and expound on them. Like I was hoping he would go down that road with that answer yesterday because I was writing about it. If he would have given me a Belichick, it's not about me. I'm like, I got no lead quote for my story, but he helped me out. And here's the thing though. Sometimes we in the media we want guys to be to be expansive in their answers, and then we start to nitpick what they say, right? I think that happened with Nick early on, his very first news conference. He was just giving us long answers and going on, and then everybody started nitpicking. Well, he says this, he answers this, he talks to it, and all that stuff. I mean, we can't have it both ways. And I appreciate a guy who, like you said, he's sincere, he's genuine, he wears his heart on his sleeve. And we'll see where at some point, I'm sure there's going to be injuries and he's not going to tell us, well, he can't tell us if so-and-so is going to play on a Sunday and day to day. And he may very well know he's out, but that's competitive advantage. And I understand when coaches withhold information for competitive advantage. In fact, if I were a fan, I wouldn't want my coach to tell the media certain things. I think sometimes they need to withhold for the betterment of their team.
No doubt about it. We're joined by Rob Maaddi. Follow him on Twitter at Rob Maaddi, of course, with the Associated Press. Great follow. What do you think his offense is going to look like? Because we saw so little, it was vanilla, no game planning in the preseason, no starters hardly at all. So there's so much that we don't know. What is your best guess as to what his offense might look like against Atlanta?
That's a great question, and Atlanta doesn't know what his offense is going to look like, and that's why he
design.
Yeah, by design. I think New England got a good look at it in not in the game, but in those practices, and the same thing with the Jets in the practices, but not in the game. And I think we're going to see what we know about Nick Sirianni, him being a creative guy, some with some movement, some concentration on running the football, some play action. I want to see him get Devontae Smith and Jalen Reagor involved early in the game. And that doesn't necessarily have to be a downfield pass. How about you get the ball in a guy like Jalen Reagor's hands on
jet sweep,
right? A bubble screen, something like that.
Tunnel screen.
Yeah. What we thought he would get or happen last year, and they didn't utilize him that way. And I think that can allow young players to really feel like, all right, hey, I belong. I'm here. I can go out there. I can do this right now. And as much as Devontae Smith accomplished last year, winning a Heisman and all those numbers and all the glory that he has achieved, I mean, he's got to have a little bit of butterflies going out there. So get him the ball early. I'm interested to see how he moves Jalen Hurts around. Does he move Jalen Hurts around in the pocket by design? Is he rolling him out? Is he doing things with Jalen that we wanted to see Doug do with Carson? Carson was so good outside the pocket, and for whatever reason, they turned him into a pocket passer with no offensive line to protect him. Well, what are they going to do with Jalen Hurts, and how's he going to utilize him? And the running back rotation, what's that going to look like? Are they going to count on Miles Sanders and give him the ball 15, 20 times? Or is Kenny Gainwell, who's got a ton of talent and ability, is he going to be able to get involved in the offense? And Boston Scott, I know it's not the New York Giants and he's a giant killer, but I think my man Boston can do something. So I'm excited to see what they can do offensively. And it is, I guess, a competitive advantage that the Falcons didn't get it. They don't see anything on film. They don't know what a Nick Sirianni offense looks like just yet.
Absolutely. I mean, so from this point on, are you a big fan of Jalen Hurts? Or are you, still, jury's still out on him? What do you think about him as a player?
I'm really excited to see what he can do, and I'm happy they're giving him the opportunity, Barrett. I thought from the minute they moved on from Carson that they needed to give Jalen an opportunity to prove that he could be QB1. I think the most important thing this year is finding out, is Jalen Hurts your quarterback of the future? That's what this season's all about. I don't have any visions or any illusions that they're going to make the playoffs. I think they can be competitive in a weak division, but if you can come out of this year and know for sure you have a franchise quarterback in Jalen, I think that's the bar is set low, but that's a pretty successful year if that's all you're getting out of it. And
right.
I'm happy that they've surrounded him with some talent. Devontae Smith, you still have Zach Ertz being back. One is a shocker, but two is going to help Jalen Hurts. So he's got some talent on offense. And if that line, the key is going to be that line. If that line is healthy and can perform up to their capabilities, I think we can see Jalen Hurts relax, get settled in, make better decisions with the football. He's learning on the fly. He only played 4 games last year. And I'm willing to bet on Jalen. I love all the intangibles. We all rave about the intangibles. I'm willing to bet on him that I think he can show some things this year. The fact that he's a dual threat in this kind of NFL now where that matters so much is going to be a big advantage for him. So if I had to say, will he be QB1 in 2022? I'm leaning towards it, guys. I got to see a full 17 games, but I'm leaning towards it, and obviously it's going to be a big year for him.
Now, obviously, everybody's saying the right things. Zach Ertz says he wants to be here, wants to retire here. He's put everything in the past. Are you buying that, and do you think he is here for the remainder of the season?
I know Zach's a forgiving guy. As a man of strong faith, I know he allows that to determine and just how he lives his life and the character that he brings to the table. And I know that Zach had been hurt by some of the things that happened behind the scenes. And we all know about him and Howie last year having a little bit of a disagreement that was well publicized on the field. And I do believe that Zach is able to put things in the past and forgive and move on. And he has always wanted to be here, guys. That's the thing that hurt him so much, is that he always wanted to be here and he just wanted to be treated fairly. Now, Mark Andrews gets this contract last night. And I know Mark Andrews is younger than Zach Ertz. And I know Mark Andrews has got certainly more time left in the NFL. But people talk about what that Mark Andrews contract is going to mean for Dallas Goedert. I say, you know what? That contract means a lot for Zach Ertz too, as well, because there's no reason to think a guy only 30. Let's not look at Zach Ertz and say he's already trending on the downward side of his career. Last year was a terrible year for everybody. We've seen tight ends, Tony Gonzalez, Jason Witten, Antonio Gates. Gronk is older and played deep into their 30s, not just mid-30s, deep into their 30s. There's no reason for me to think that Zach Ertz, who keeps himself in top physical condition, cannot be an excellent elite level tight end for 2, 3, 4 more years, for one more contract. So I think that contract Mark Andrews got yesterday from Baltimore is going to help Zach Ertz out a lot. And the Eagles are now in a situation where maybe they pick and choose. You can't afford 2 of these guys next year. And Dallas Goedert, we heard him say this yesterday, that he thought that he was going to be under contract by now, but the Eagles decided to go in a different way. That was very interesting to me. Very interesting to hear Dallas Goedert say that. And I think the Eagles are going to evaluate both of these guys. And depending on how they perform this year, one of them gets the contract. So I'm not ruling out Zach Ertz being here long term, which blows my mind, because 2 months ago, I would have never thought he's here now.
No question about that. I mean, at the end of the day, he didn't just lose all that skill set, all that skill in just 1 year. You know what I'm saying? So he still has the ability to go out there and have some production in this offense. But, as far as play calling and all the different personnel packages this team has, they can really break out. And they're just young enough to be like, all right, I'm not supposed to be this good, but I don't know that I'm not supposed to be this good, which will allow them to play at a higher level going into these games, man. So everybody else on the outside may be thinking something, but who they are and what they think of themselves may push them past the 7 wins people are saying they're going to win, or six and below they're going to win, man.
Yeah, I thought they were a 6 to 8 win team, and how the offensive line performs and how healthy they are, I think, is going to be the determining factor in those 2 wins. If those guys up front are like last year, in and out of the lineup, if there's no stability, if there's no chemistry, that's just gonna the whole offense is going to suffer because of that. And we know that. You know that as an offensive lineman, Barrett. As the O-line goes, the rest of the offense goes. And I think it's going to be important. Is Brandon Brooks going to be the player who he had been pre-injury? And that is one of the best, if not the best, right guards in the NFL. Lane Johnson, is he going to be back to all-pro level at right tackle? Does Jason Kelce have 1 more year? And then you look at the left side, and is Jordan Mailata really the solution? Is he really the answer? And I look at Isaac Seumalo as maybe holding that spot down until Landon Dickerson's ready to go. I think they invested in Landon Dickerson to be able to get him out on that field. But if those guys are healthy and out there, there's no reason why this offense cannot click and they can get to that 8 range or compete for 7, 8, 9. If they're in shambles, forget it. The season's going to be a struggle.
What's your take on their opponent this week? I mean, Matt Ryan, 36 years old, got some moved on from Julio Jones, some different weaponry. Their offensive line in the interior is not very good. Their defense has not been very good for years. What do you think they're up against this weekend?
I think it's certainly a winnable game for the Eagles, but you look at, it's a tough spot. You're on the road. It's a first game for Arthur Smith as a head coach. He wants to leave his imprint in Atlanta and show what he can do. And Matt Ryan is a veteran quarterback who last year, for all their struggles, they led the NFC in passing. And I know they don't have Julio Jones anymore, but Kyle Pitts, to me, he's probably my favorite player in the draft. I love what Kyle Pitts can do. I think he's going to have a tremendous season. He's really somebody who is such a hybrid tight end that it's hard to figure out how you're going to be able to match up with him.
Right.
He can go off, man. He can go off in game 1 of his NFL career. So yeah, the defense over there has been miserable for years in Atlanta, and they signed a lot of mid-level type free agents, veteran guys, Deron Harmon, some other players to upgrade, to bolster their secondary and their defense. But I don't think they're going to be this might be a game. I haven't even looked at the over under yet, but this might be surprisingly a game where you go over because you got a bad defense in Atlanta. You got 2 offenses that didn't show much, so the defense doesn't know what to expect. So basically, whatever I say bet the opposite. So if I'm saying go over in this
Eitan already did bet the opposite.
Did he?
Yeah, he's on record with the under.
Right. Well, I mean, that's one thing about me. I look at the defense. I think the defense is upgraded from last year. I think they're better than last year, and I think the personnel that they have in the secondary will allow me to not take and eat so many Tums on third down. You know what I'm saying? I mean, my stomach used to roll every time third down, and I see them damn picket fences come out there. So they used to maximize the anger that I had for that picket fence type of defense. I like that they can go out and compete now. We have a legitimate number 1 and number 1A cornerback on the outside. So in saying that, this defense is definitely upgraded. Even at the linebacker position, they might be pretty good, better than what we think.
I do think that their defense certainly is improved, and it's going to be. And I like Jonathan Gannon as a defensive coordinator. I liked him from the get-go, and I heard him say, "I don't have a scheme. I fit my players, I scheme to the strengths of my players." That to me matters, and it's
absolutely
not. You know, Jim Schwartz was, "Hey, this is my scheme. This is what you guys have to do. Whether you fit or not, you have to do this." And that picket fence, as you alluded to, Barrett, was. How many times did 3rd and 15 get converted on the Eagles? 3rd and 11, right. 3rd and 12, man. Those are get off the field downs. That's like a turnover, man. A 3rd and 15 get off the field. If you can't stop that team, that's terrible. And I think they're in better position to be able to do that this year with this defense. And their strengths are both the lines, the offensive line and the defensive line. And that defensive line, I'm excited to see. Josh Sweat, everybody raved about him in training camp. Can he take his game to another level? Guy we forget about, they brought in Ryan Kerrigan. He could still get after that quarterback. I believe that. And then Fletcher Cox in the middle, Javon Hargrave in the second year of his contract. And Brandon Graham is like, he don't age, man. Brandon Graham still got energy. He's still got that high motor. He's great in the huddle. So he's a team captain again. And he'll get after that quarterback, and he's coming off his first Pro Bowl season. So good for Brandon. I think that defensive line is going to be really solid or deep, and that's going to help out the secondary too as well.
One last quick one for Rob Maaddi before we get you out of here. Did anything from the college football weekend jump out at you? The young kid McKenzie coming back with Florida State.
Florida State, a devastating injury, and being able to walk again is a victory.
Yeah.
Be out on the football field, to come in the fourth quarter and lead your team to a touchdown and a comeback to tie the game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is like movie stuff.
It is
something they're going to be doing a movie about at some point. Disney's all over it, if not somebody else.
Now, will they change the ending and have Florida State win the game in the movie?
You got to make that. You got to make it. He'll lead them to a touchdown to win the game somehow. At the end. But that to me, it's just in a world consumed with negativity, a feel-good story like that is something to really feel good about.
He was a stud at UCF, man.
Yeah,
I'll tell you.
I got to research what that injury was, because like it was that devastating to where his doctor said, "Hey, I've never seen anybody come back from this." Like, that's pretty
remarkable. Great stuff, Rob. We appreciate you jumping on, man.
Appreciate you, Rob.
Anytime, fellas. Have a good one.
All right, there he is. Give him a follow on Twitter. He's great. And don't forget, a subscriber to the JAKIB Media YouTube channel is going to win a pair of season tickets to the Eagles. All you got to be is subscribed. How about that? Now, one last thing.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.